Social media has become an inseparable part of modern life. It promises connection, entertainment, and information, but beneath the surface, it quietly chips away at confidence and self-worth. One of the most dangerous traps social media sets is the constant comparison it creates. When you scroll through endless highlight reels of other people's lives, it's easy to feel like you're falling behind. You see perfectly curated photos, achievements, and lifestyles that seem flawless, and it creates a dangerous illusion that everyone else is thriving while you're struggling. This illusion breeds insecurity, making you question your own worth and diminishing your confidence. Comparison is a silent thief. It sneaks into your mind and convinces you that you're not enough. When you see someone else's success, your mind immediately frames it as your own failure. If they're winning, you must be losing. But this is a false narrative. Life isn't a competition. Just because someone else is succeeding doesn't mean you're falling behind. Everyone's path is different, yet social media makes it look like there's a single standard of success. The perfect body, the dream job, the luxurious vacations, these become the markers of worth, and when your life doesn't match that curated image, you begin to feel less than. The problem with comparison is that it distorts reality. What you see on social media is not the whole picture. People post their best moments, not their struggles. They show the filtered, edited version of their lives, not the unfiltered chaos that everyone experiences behind closed doors. But when you compare your behind-the-scenes reality to someone else's highlight reel, it's impossible to feel like you measure up. You start to believe that you're not doing enough, not achieving enough, not successful enough, and this erodes your confidence from the inside out. Confidence comes from within, but social media makes you look outward for validation. The more you compare yourself to others, the more you reinforce the idea that your worth is determined by how you measure up to others. You start to define success based on other people's lives rather than your own value. This creates a cycle of inadequacy. You feel like you're not enough, so you try to improve yourself to match the image of success you see online, but no matter how much you achieve, it's never enough. There's always someone doing more, achieving more, living a more glamorous life, and so the cycle continues. The truth is, comparison is a losing game. No matter how much you achieve, there will always be someone else doing more. That's why basing your confidence on comparison is a trap. True confidence doesn't come from measuring up to others. It comes from aligning with your own values and recognizing your own growth. When you stop looking sideways and start focusing on your own path, you reclaim your power. You start to see that success isn't about being better than others. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. Social media thrives on comparison because it feeds the need for external validation. The likes, comments, and followers that serve as artificial markers of self-worth. But real confidence isn't built on likes. It's built on self-respect, self-awareness, and personal growth. The problem is that social media conditions you to seek approval from others. When a post gets a lot of likes, you feel validated. When it doesn't, you feel rejected. This creates an emotional dependency on external validation, which weakens your inner confidence. External validation is seductive because it offers an immediate hit of approval. When you post a picture and get a flood of likes, your brain releases dopamine, the feel-good chemical that creates a temporary high. But the problem is that this high fades quickly, leaving you craving more. You become hooked on the cycle of posting, seeking approval, and feeling validated. But this external validation is hollow. It's not rooted in your true self. It's based on how others perceive you. The danger of external validation is that it makes you dependent on others for your sense of worth. When your confidence is tied to how many likes you get, you lose control over your self-esteem. Your mood and self-esteem are at the mercy of other people's opinion. If your post gets a lot of attention, you feel confident. If it gets ignored, you feel invisible. This roller coaster of approval and rejection creates emotional instability, making it impossible to build lasting confidence. True confidence comes from within. It's not about how others see you, it's about how you see yourself. When you base your confidence on external validation, you give away your power. You let other people's opinions define you. But when you shift your focus inward, you take back that power. You start to define your worth based on your own values and personal growth. You recognize that your value isn't tied to how many followers you have or how many likes you get. It's tied to your character, your integrity, and your purpose. Social media creates the illusion that you need other people's approval to feel valuable. But the truth is, you are enough as you are. You don't need validation from others to know that you matter. Confidence is not built on public recognition, it's built on self-acceptance. When you stop seeking approval from others and start embracing your true self, you develop an unshakable inner strength. You become confident not because others approve of you, but because you approve of yourself. The key to breaking free from external validation is to cultivate self-awareness. You need to recognize when you're seeking approval and ask yourself why. Are you posting because you genuinely want to share something, or because you're hoping for likes and comments? Are you measuring your worth based on your follower count or on your personal growth? When you become aware of these patterns, you can start to change them. You can begin to build confidence from within rather than seeking it from others. Building true confidence requires you to detach from the need for external approval. It's about shifting your focus from how others see you to how you see yourself. It's about setting your own standards for success and measuring yourself based on your own values. When you stop looking for validation from others, you become free. You stop trying to impress people and start living authentically. You stop comparing yourself to others and start focusing on your own journey. Social media wants you to believe that you need to be liked to be valuable. But real confidence comes from knowing that you are valuable, regardless of who approves of you. When you stop chasing likes and start living with purpose, you become unstoppable. You stop letting other people's opinions define you and start defining yourself. That's when you truly step into your power. Confidence isn't about being perfect, it's about being real. It's about knowing that you have value even when no one is watching. It's about trusting yourself even when others doubt you. It's about showing up as your authentic self regardless of how others respond. When you build confidence from within, you become untouchable. No amount of likes or comments can shake you, because you know who you are. Social media will always try to pull you into the trap of comparison and validation, but you have the power to rise above it. You can choose to define your worth based on your own values rather than the opinions of others. You can choose to measure success based on your own growth rather than public recognition. You can choose to build confidence from within rather than seeking it from the outside. When you make that choice, you reclaim your power. You become unshakable. You become truly confident, not because others approve of you, but because you approve of yourself. Social media has created a distorted lens through which we view ourselves and others. The illusion of perfection is one of the most damaging aspects of this culture. We scroll through feeds and see highlight reels of other people's lives. The perfect vacations, the flawless selfies, the curated moments that look effortless. But what we don't see are the struggles behind the scenes. We don't see the stress, the self-doubt, the moments of failure that are cropped out of the frame. This creates an unrealistic standard, an impossible benchmark that we subconsciously measure ourselves against. When you are constantly bombarded with images of perfection, it creates a dangerous narrative in your mind. You start to feel like you are not enough, that you are somehow falling behind, that your life is less valuable because it doesn't look as polished and seamless as the lives you see online. But the truth is, social media is not real life. It's a carefully edited version of reality, and chasing this illusion of perfection is like chasing a shadow. No matter how close you get, it will always be out of reach. Perfection is not achievable because it's not real. Even the people who project the most flawless images are battling their own struggles behind the scenes. The influencer with the perfect body might be struggling with body image issues. The couple posting romantic pictures might be fighting behind closed doors. The person sharing their success might be battling loneliness and anxiety. Perfection is not the goal. Growth is. Progress is. Becoming more comfortable with who you are, even with your imperfections, is where true strength lies. The problem with the illusion of perfection is that it convinces you that anything less than perfect is failure. It teaches you to see your flaws as weaknesses instead of badges of resilience. It creates a mindset where you start to fear vulnerability because vulnerability exposes the cracks in the illusion. But it's those cracks that make you human. It's those imperfections that make you relatable and real. When you try to chase perfection, you lose sight of what actually matters. You stop living in the present because you're too busy trying to craft a version of yourself that you think will be accepted and admired. But you are not here to be admired. You are here to live, to experience, to grow, to feel the full spectrum of human emotion, the highs and the lows, the victories and the failures. None of those things are perfect, but they are real, and real is always more powerful than perfect. Perfection convinces you that you are not enough, that you need to do more, be more, achieve more in order to matter. But your worth is not tied to your achievements. Your value is not based on how many likes you get or how perfect your life looks online. Your worth comes from the fact that you exist, that you are trying, that you are showing up even when it's hard, that you are brave enough to be imperfect in a world that demands perfection. Mindfulness and self-awareness are the antidotes to this illusion. Mindfulness means stepping back from the noise and reconnecting with yourself. It means becoming aware of your thoughts and learning to separate them from reality. Just because your mind tells you that you're not enough doesn't mean it's true. Just because you feel like you're falling behind doesn't mean you are. Mindfulness teaches you to observe your thoughts without becoming controlled by them. It allows you to notice when you are slipping into comparison mode and to bring yourself back to the present moment. When you practice mindfulness, you become more rooted in reality instead of the illusion. You stop measuring your worth based on how you stack up to others and start focusing on your own path. Self-awareness is the ability to recognize when you are being influenced by outside forces. It's the strength to question the narrative that social media presents. When you become self-aware, you stop blindly accepting the version of reality that's being sold to you. You start to define success on your own terms. You start to understand that happiness is not found in perfection, but in authenticity. Self-awareness allows you to set boundaries with social media. It teaches you to recognize when it's affecting your mental health and to step away when needed. It gives you the power to curate your own experience instead of being a passive consumer. When you are self-awareness, you become less reactive. You stop allowing likes and comments to dictate your mood. You stop letting someone else's highlight reel make you feel inferior. Mindfulness and self-awareness also help you cultivate gratitude. When you are present, you start to notice the small things that bring joy. The warmth of the sun on your face, the sound of laughter, the feeling of connection with someone you love. Social media trains you to overlook these moments because they are not picture perfect. But these small, imperfect moments are what life is actually made of. When you are mindful, you stop chasing happiness in the future and start finding it in the present. You stop thinking, "I'll be happy when," and start realizing that happiness is available to you right now. You don't need more likes, more followers, or more validation to feel whole. You need to be present with yourself, to accept yourself as you are, not as the world expects you to be. Social media thrives on comparison and insecurity because it keeps you engaged. But mindfulness and self-awareness disrupt that cycle. They teach you to value connection over competition. They teach you to measure success by how you feel, not by how others perceive you. They remind you that you are already enough, not because you've achieved perfection, but because you've accepted your imperfections. The illusion of perfection is seductive because it offers a false promise that if you can just become perfect, you will finally feel secure and whole. But that promise is a lie. Security and wholeness don't come from perfection, they come from self-acceptance, from learning to sit with yourself, flaws and all, and knowing that you are still enough. Mindfulness and self-awareness give you the power to reclaim your confidence from social media. They teach you to stop chasing perfection and start embracing authenticity. They help you build a foundation of confidence that isn't dependent on likes, comments, or validation from others. They allow you to be rooted in your own truth, even when the world is trying to sell you a different version of reality. Social media will always present an edited version of reality, but you have the choice to see beyond that illusion. You have the power to define success and happiness on your own terms. When you become mindful and self-awareness, you stop being controlled by the illusion and start living from a place of truth. You start measuring your worth not by how perfect your life looks, but by how aligned you feel with your own values and purpose. The illusion of perfection will try to convince you that you are not enough, but mindfulness and self-awareness will remind you that you already are. You don't need to be perfect to be valuable. You don't need to impress others to matter. You just need to be true to yourself. And that truth is more powerful than any illusion social media can create. Focusing on personal growth means turning your attention inward instead of seeking approval from others. The world has conditioned us to believe that our value is tied to how others perceive us. But this is a dangerous trap. When your sense of worth is based on public approval, you become a prisoner to the opinions of others. You chase validation, likes, and recognition, hoping that each new wave of praise will finally make you feel enough. But it never does. Real growth happens when you stop performing for the world and start improving for yourself. Growth is not about recognition. It's about becoming better, wiser, and stronger. The likes, comments, and shares are fleeting, but the internal progress you make, the discipline you build, the wisdom you cultivate, the strength you develop, that stays with you forever. Social media makes it easy to fall into the trap of comparison. You see others' highlight reels and start to feel like you're falling behind. But comparison is the enemy of growth. Growth happens when you focus on your own path, your own progress, and your own goals. What others are doing is irrelevant. What matters is how you are showing up every day, how you are pushing yourself to be better, and how you are building a foundation for long-term success. Focusing on personal growth means setting your own standards. Stop measuring yourself against the impossible benchmarks set by others. Instead, define success on your own terms. Are you more disciplined than you were yesterday? Are you more patient, more focused, more determined? Those are the markers of true growth. External approval is fragile. It can disappear in an instant. But the growth you create internally, that is permanent. That is the foundation upon which confidence and success are built. Social media encourages you to seek approval from others, but true strength comes from seeking progress for yourself. When you start focusing on your own growth instead of public recognition, everything changes. You stop worrying about what others think. You stop chasing trends and start following your own path. You stop trying to impress and start trying to improve. That's when real success begins. When you detach from the need for approval, you find the freedom to grow into the person you were meant to be. Mastering control over your attention is one of the most powerful skills you can develop. Social media is designed to steal your focus. Every notification, every like, every comment, it's all designed to hook you in and keep you addicted. But when you control your attention, you reclaim your power. Your attention is your most valuable resource. Where you direct it shapes your life. If your attention is scattered across meaningless content, your mind becomes scattered. If your attention is constantly hijacked by the latest post, the latest trend, the latest opinion, you lose the ability to think clearly and act with purpose. Taking control of your attention means deciding what deserves your focus. It means turning off the noise and tuning into what matters. It means setting boundaries with social media and technology. You don't need to be available 24/7. You don't need to respond to every notification. You have the power to step away, to disconnect, and to refocus. Mastering your attention means training your mind to resist distraction. It means practicing mindfulness and presence. When you train yourself to focus on the present moment, you stop being pulled in 100 different directions. You become grounded, steady, and clear. When you control your attention, you reclaim your ability to think deeply, to reflect, and to create. Creativity and insight thrive in stillness, not in chaos. When your mind is constantly stimulated by social media, you lose the ability to think for yourself. But when you step away and direct your attention inward, you discover new ideas, new solutions, and new perspectives. Social media creates a cycle of distraction. You open your phone to check one thing, and suddenly you've lost an hour scrolling through content that adds nothing to your life. But when you control your attention, you break that cycle. You become intentional with your time and your focus. Attention is power. The world is constantly trying to steal it from you, but you have the ability to protect it. You have the ability to direct your attention toward growth, learning, and creation. When you stop giving your attention away to things that don't matter, you free up space for the things that do. Taking control of your attention means reclaiming your mind. It means choosing what you allow into your mental space. It means protecting your focus from the endless stream of content designed to keep you distracted. When you protect your attention, you protect your peace, you protect your confidence, you protect your ability to grow. Social media thrives on keeping you distracted, insecure, and dependent on external validation. But when you focus on your own growth and take control of your attention, you break free from that cycle. You become independent, strong, and confident. You stop relying on others to tell you who you are, and you start defining yourself on your own terms. Growth comes from focus. Success comes from consistency. Confidence comes from within. When you stop chasing approval and start chasing progress, you build a foundation that no external opinion can shake. When you stop letting social media control your attention and start directing it toward what matters, you reclaim your life. Social media wants to keep you distracted. It wants to keep you insecure. It wants to keep you seeking validation from others. But you don't have to live that way. You have the power to change. You have the power to focus on your own growth. You have the power to reclaim your attention. Focusing on personal growth means turning away from the noise and looking inward. It means asking yourself, am I better today than I was yesterday? It means setting goals that matter to you, not to anyone else. When you start focusing on progress instead of approval, you find freedom. Mastering control over your attention means reclaiming your time, your energy, and your mind. It means deciding where your focus goes instead of letting social media decide for you. It means becoming intentional with your time and your thoughts. When you focus on personal growth and master control over your attention, you become unstoppable. You stop relying on others to tell you who you are, and you start defining yourself on your own terms. You stop chasing validation, and you start chasing purpose. That's when you step into your power.